It's been 6 years since I left my corporate job to pursue a career in the creative industry. I started off as a freelance videographer. I then started multiple e-commerce brands, but I never had the success that I had always dreamed of. Earlier this year, when it was time for a new chapter, I found myself in a position where I had nothing to show for the last 6 years. I didn't have a personal brand that documented the journey, and the chances are if you're clicking on this video, then you're in the same boat. Although I was doing great work for the last 6 years, I didn't have the leverage that some of the people I looked up to had, and I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was until I realized it was their personal brand. This realization has completely changed the direction of my life, and in today's video I want to share with you the exact content and personal branding strategy that I have implemented to grow an audience of over 40,000 in the last few months. But hold on, it's not just about the followers, it's about building a real, authentic personal brand, one that compounds over time and becomes one of your most valuable long-term assets. Alright guys, welcome to the Creator Launchpad framework. Now this is something that I've put together based on my last 6 years of experience in the creative space, after building my own personal brand and breaking down some of the biggest personal brands in the space. I wanted to share with you guys the patterns that I've noticed to help you make impactful content for your personal brand so you can show up authentically, build authority, and attract opportunities. By the end of this video, I want you to walk away with clarity on the content that you need to go and create to actually build an authentic personal brand that positions you for opportunity. Now, if you're a creator, you may be thinking this: I don't know what to post. You might have a lack of clarity with content ideas, or you don't know how to use a camera or editing software. You feel overwhelmed by all the tech. You feel cringe or dumb talking to the camera and you have low confidence. Trust me, I've been there. You feel like you don't have time to figure this out yourself. You may have a busy job, a lifestyle, and you just fear it's too time consuming. You may have experimented posting before and had no success in terms of engagement, reach, and you feel like the algorithm hates you. Or you simply just don't feel like you're creative enough and you have some imposter syndrome. You've tried posting but nothing works and you have frustration from past failed attempts. Now, if you have a little bit more experience, you may be a founder, a freelancer, a coach, and you may be thinking, I already post, but it's not good enough to attract clients. You could have a quality problem. Or I don't have time to make content consistently, so there's a consistency problem. You've already hired a videographer or an editor and you think this execution alone is going to give you results. You don't want to spend money if it doesn't lead to business growth. You don't see the immediate ROI like you do with, say, ads, or you simply just don't want to look dumb or unprofessional online and put yourself out there. The reason I've written down these pain points is because I am a creator, I am a founder, I am a freelancer, and I am now a coach. So these are the pain points that I have personally felt myself. And I'm telling you now that these are just myths that keep most creators and founders stuck. If your content is positioned correctly, edited well, and resonates with your dream audience, it's going to build trust, position you as an authority, and make people want to work with you. And that's the goal. Content is how people see you, trust you, and decide if you're worth paying attention to. Content is what conveys your message to the world. Good content will get you views, but exceptional content will separate you from the crowd. Now let's make sure this is a good use of your time. This is not for you if you just want to go viral overnight and you're chasing some quick hack. If you refuse to ever show your face or voice online, because let's be real, if you want to build a real, authentic brand that's going to resonate with people over a long period of time, you're going to have to show your face and you're going to have your voice. People who just want a videographer to do it all without direction, then it's not for you. If you think that you can just outsource the whole process and not have any involvement, then this is not for you. People who care only about metrics and not building a real connection, and those who say they want it but aren't willing to put in the work. Because guys, this is a lot of work. Even if you do have a team making the content for you, you still need to show up and you still need to think and you still need to put yourself out there. But this is for you if you're a creator or founder who wants their content to actually build trust and authority with their audience. If you struggle to post consistently or you keep second guessing everything, if you want your content to attract opportunities without spending all day creating it, and people who know their personal brand will be their most valuable asset moving forward in the next few years. What you're looking for is a clear, repeatable system for creating content you're proud of, a way to stay consistent without content taking over your whole life, and a framework that makes your content look professional, feel authentic, and positions you as an authority in your space. Because that's exactly what it did for me. This was my account in May this year, and this is it now. The last 3 months, I've been able to reach so many people just through my posts. In May, we posted every single day, 30 videos, and we got 20,000 followers, which is crazy. June and July, didn't post every day, but I was still able to have some crazy reach. My audience just keeps growing month on month. Now, July and August was probably my slowest months in terms of posting. I probably posted 2 to 3 times a week, and I almost reached 500,000 people. That's because I understand how to position my content now, and that's what I want to share with you guys today. This has led to so many inbound opportunities for me, which I'd never even thought of. I got so much freelance work just through my DMs. I ran my first ever workshop to teach you all how I did my 30-day content series, and the feedback was absolutely insane. I started selling my first ever digital products, iPhone lights, camera lights, because people were interested in how I color graded my videos. And I am now coaching people who want to do it themselves. So all of this happened just because I decided to take the leap and post content to build my personal brand. So who am I? My name is Yash, and in 2017, life looked very different. I had just finished my uni degree in information systems from UNSW, and I worked at companies like Qantas, Deloitte, Coca-Cola, and honestly, it wasn't that bad, but I felt completely unfulfilled, and I used to sit there and say, this can't be what I do for the rest of my life. I can't imagine myself just sitting in an office 9 to 5 for the next 40 years. I felt like there was always something more. So it was around this time that me and my friend thought it'd be cool to start making hoodies and start selling them online, and this was my first introduction to the whole e-commerce world. But it was nothing completely serious, but we did make an order for some hoodies and we started selling them to our friends. And this got me into photography and videography because I had to take photos to post it on Instagram. And I noticed that I started to enjoy the process of taking photos and editing them way more than actually the business side of pushing the hoodies. And honestly, I didn't think much of it at the time, but I started posting this content on Instagram and people started saying the photos and videos are really good. Can you do some work for us and we'll pay you? And I had never even thought of getting paid to do this. So I was like, this is crazy. Like, I'm making money by just creating content while I was still working full time. And I started really investing in myself and learning from other YouTubers, meeting up with them, doing more freelance shoots. And I was like, this could actually be something. And it was around this time where that interest of videography and photography really took over most of my time. And I stopped making hoodies with my friends and I got a job at a gym. My interest in videography and photography really started to take over. So I quit my job and I was still scared of going completely freelance. So I got a job at a gym as a videographer. And I was like, this could be the perfect way to still work on my skills as a videographer, still get better, and I get to enjoy the fitness side of things because I was always into the gym and I thought it'd be really cool to just work on the fitness niche. So those couple of years, I really evolved as a videographer. I started doing something completely different to what I was always brought up and told to do, which was to like work in corporate and climb up the corporate ladder. I was doing something completely different at the time. So all of this was just completely new to me. This led to the next phase of my life where I got an opportunity to co-found another e-commerce brand, Next Letica, with the owners of the gym, my mentors and good friends. And this honestly changed everything for me. It shaped the person that I am today, and it brought me closer to the person I had always envisioned myself to be. I really honed in on my fitness and lost a lot of weight. I did multiple Hyroxes. I ran a marathon. I also evolved from a videographer to more of a creative director, where I was leading campaigns and thinking from more of a strategy perspective. But during this time, I had still never built a personal brand. I still wasn't posting content besides a few photo dumps here and there to really showcase to the world all the work that I was doing and the impact I was really having. It was during this phase of my life where I would constantly look up to other founders in the space, such as George Heaton, Addy Gillespie, Ben Francis, or people in the creative field like Daniel Dalen, Sam Calder, Tom Noski, and I would constantly be inspired by their personal brands and the impact they would have on others. And I was brought into their brands through their content. It wasn't actually their brand that was influencing me to buy from them, but it was the actual impact that they had as a person. And I was like, maybe this is what I need to do. Maybe this is the missing link to everything that I've been working for the last 6 years. I've always been creating content for others and I've always shown up for others, but I've never shown up for myself. I've never put myself out there, shared my experiences, my values, my beliefs, and the impact that I want to have on the world. And this is where I started to have some disagreements with my business partners because we were worried that attention would be taken off the business if we were focusing on building a personal brand. This led me to part ways and leave behind everything I had worked for the last 4 to 5 years and go through another identity shift. And that's where I found myself in March, earlier this year. All I had to my name was an Instagram with 2,000 followers, my camera, the skill set I had picked up over the last 6 years, and the brands I had worked with over the last 6 years. And I was kind of stuck, honestly. I didn't know what to do, but all I knew is I wanted to start posting content, give value to people, and tell my story. And I kept thinking about the people that I was inspired by, George Heaton, Ben Francis, Daniel Dalen, and I started to break down what they did really well. And what I realized was their content wasn't just an afterthought, it was their engine. Their personal brand was their most valuable business asset. It's what drove attention, trust, and opportunities. It's the same reason why brands like Nike spend millions of dollars on personal brands. It's because a traditional business has no point of relatability to their audience without a face behind it. These guys had figured out how to make content and their brand work for them, not the other way around. So I decided to go all in and I started posting consistently. In April, this was me in my room, and I decided to start a 30-day content series of helping you get better at content creation. I decided to package my 6 years of learnings into 30 videos that would help someone who was just starting off. And my Instagram blew up. I started getting millions of views, all these followers coming in, people saying they were loving the videos and they were finding it very valuable. And I had thought, whoa, everything I was thinking of doing the last 6 years just happened in 30 days. After posting consistently for a few months, multiple posts going viral, I gained over 20,000 followers in 30 days. And I thought I've built a personal brand. I was like, it really wasn't that hard. I just had to post every day for 30 days. But then it hit me, going viral doesn't equal authority. I had an audience, but I didn't have trust. I had views, but I didn't have the opportunities I wanted. And I was back to the drawing board. That's when I realized content alone doesn't build a business. What actually matters is positioning yourself through content in a way that builds authority and trust. Because when your content builds trust, that's when people start listening. That's when they see you as credible. And this is what you need to have a big impact. So this became my mission, to help creators and founders stop chasing virality and instead create content that actually builds an impactful personal brand. So how do we do this? I built a framework called the Creator Sprint. It's all about positioning your content in the right way through identity ignition. Visual authority is all about how your content looks and is perceived by your audience. Content engine is how you're going to stay consistent through a content cycle. And authority acceleration is all about growth and how you actually link it back to your vehicle. This is the shift from randomly posting, saying you want to build a personal brand, to actually building an impactful brand. This is exactly what I have done. That's grown me from 2,000 followers all the way to now 40,000. But content alone will not build your personal brand. Anyone can post videos. What makes you stand out is the way you're perceived, the message you share, and how you connect it to your business. And that's what the Creator Sprint is designed to do. At a high level, creating content for your personal brand involves identity, who you are and how you show up, your messaging, what you say and how it resonates with your audience, your frameworks, the systems you use to remove friction, your branding, your overall visual identity, the style, the way your content looks, the methods you use to execute, and your values, what your brand actually stands for. Now, this is what the Creator Sprint is designed to do. It simplifies all of these things to make it easier to understand. So building your personal brand is all about identity ignition. This is where you talk about your personality, your values and beliefs, your story. What makes you different? This is what's going to make you a one of one. It's why someone's going to choose you over somebody else who's doing the same thing. It's the same reason why I just told you guys my story, because I know a lot of you are in the same position as me. Visual authority is all about your style, the camera quality, the angles you use, the color grading, your unique aesthetic. Now, if you look at my videos, they all have a similar color grade. It's a similar dark aesthetic tone, which I like and I use in every video. You'll notice in my videos, there's no daylight. It's all artificial lighting because that's the aesthetic that I like to show and it makes my content stand out. So visual authority is all about defining your content style, and your content engine is how repeatable your content can be and the formats and platforms you're going to be posting on. This is what's going to make up your content cycle. So for me, I'm posting on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, And for me to stay consistent, I need a repeatable content system. Authority acceleration is your vehicle. What is your revenue driver and how are you going to link your content to that vehicle? This is literally the reason I'm making this video right now, because I'm linking my personal brand to my revenue driver. This is what's going to make up your personal brand, which then speaks to your dream follower. Now, to give you guys an example, let's take someone like Iman Gadzhi. We all know his story of being raised by a single parent, being broke as a young kid. We all know his visual authority, his style, and the way he's perceived through his content, his color grade, his fashion. We know his content style. His content engine, he has multiple Instagram accounts pushing out hundreds of reels a day. So he has a repeatable content cycle for his personal brand. And authority acceleration. Every now and again, he'll post on his Instagram about his businesses, but where he'll really bring it to life is through his YouTube channel, where he's constantly nurturing us and creating that connection between his business and his personal brand. All the traffic he's built here is turned into business growth through his YouTube channel. Once you've implemented the creator sprint and you now have a brand that speaks to your dream follower, then it's all just about content ideas. And these content ideas are split into authentic content, growth content, and authority content. Authentic content is all about your personality, who you are, your values, everything is centered around you and your story. Growth content is designed to go viral. You basically take viral ideas and remix them and create them yourself. And authority content is made around your skill sets, your lifestyle, and the amount of money you make. It makes someone worthy of listening and builds a level of admiration around you. So this is what your content pillars will be built around. And then you just simply put them into formats and you test which formats work the best. So for me, I'm testing talking heads, POV videos, podcasts, day in the lives, client call breakdowns, lifestyle dumps to show more personality, value carousels. So it's important to test out all these formats, because just because talking heads aren't working for someone else, it doesn't mean it won't work for you. So you want to test it out and find which feels authentic, which one you feel comfortable posting, which one works well for your niche and the message you're trying to convey. And this makes up your content strategy. So we build a content strategy based off testing and identifying the problems that you need to solve for. So basically, once you go through the creator sprint framework and generate ideas based on your content pillars, test different formats, you can start to build an impactful personal brand through the content that's actually going to resonate with your audience. This is what matters. Strategy is everywhere. You can Google how to post for free, but what actually matters is your brand, your alignment, and your authority. Because when your brand is positioned as the go-to in your space, clients and opportunities will start coming to you. And this is what the creator sprint is designed to do. It's your unique positioning making you a one-of-one niche in identity ignition, your content style in visual authority, your repeatable content style is your content engine, and using it to drive the growth of your vehicle is authority acceleration. Now, this is the shift from random posting to building an impactful brand. You might be wondering, I'll just try to post more and figure it out on my own. I don't have time to learn content. If I go viral, it'll work out. Because trust me, I've been there. I already hired a videographer editor. I'm not confident on camera. Or I've been posting, but it's not bringing opportunities. What am I doing wrong? The truth is you could try and piece it together yourself, but most likely after a few months, you're going to drop off, you're going to lose consistency, or you're not going to have direction, or you're not going to feel the point of really doing this. And that path is just going to take 10x longer. It's going to cost you opportunities, and it's going to keep you stuck and second guessing. Every creator or founder you look up to, they had guidance, they had systems, and they didn't wing it. They might have winged it at the start, but eventually they had a strategy in place. There is one question you have to ask yourself here. What is not building my personal brand costing me every single month? Because for me, it's opened up a lifetime of opportunities. It's opened up so many different monetizable paths for me that I had never even imagined of. And this is just the start. Like, we're just getting started, and I can't even imagine the leverage it's going to create over time with me posting consistently, with me showcasing my life, and with me building authority in my niche and creating credibility and trust with my audience. If you're a business owner, that could mean tens of thousands of dollars in missed revenue. If you're a creator or freelancer, it could mean partnerships and collaborations you never even get the chance at. The longer you delay building your brand, the harder it gets to stand out, because the people who start now will own attention in your space, and attention is leverage. That is what we want. So the Creator Launchpad is my way of helping you make impactful content for your personal brand so you can show up authentically, build authority, and attract opportunities. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. That is the exact content and personal branding strategy that I'm implementing for myself and my clients so we can build an impactful personal brand that lasts a lifetime. If this is something you need help with, or if you just want to have a chat about it all, click the link below and book a free one-on-one strategy call so we can break down your brand and see where it is exactly that you need help. If you have any questions, you can also DM me creator on Instagram and let's have a chat.